One
Good.
recording. All right. So for everybody listening, Mr. Mike Ford and he's been on here before. We're talking about brain health, my concussion, supplements to take for your brain health and good shit, and sleep. And I just asked if you were meditating, and so right back to where you were. Just continue where we were talking. You no
Yeah.
meditation,
So
good meditation.
meditation is, I've done meditation for years, and I've been a real hypocrite here lately because something I really encourage people to do and to practice and to overcome, the ego, the collective consciousness, and so many other things that try to impart its will as on us as co-creators. And so I've gotten completely out of that, and to much to my detriment. I went to I'm a I guess I'm not a new student, but an older student, Vipassana student. I've been to the 10-year or 10-day silent retreat. And if anybody's looking to really get in depth into meditation, I Vipassana is an amazing experience. What it allows you to do with your mind to control your body, and what you can learn to do within 10 days. Of course, you are meditating for close to 8 hours a day. And and you basically completely disconnect from everything. You don't talk to anyone. You're within yourself. And it's quite the experience. But I'll have to tell you the about the third day I was there at the Vipassana center. This was in Texas. It was at night, and I've just been having some massive struggles with the psyche, the subconscious, the ego, the whole thing. And I mean, it might have been it was between the third day and the third night and the fourth night, somewhere around there. But I was woken up, and it was like someone had was standing over my bed with a bat and a 4x8 sheet of plywood and just hammered this board. And I woke, bolt upright out of bed, nobody there, no nothing, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then that was the moment the subconscious gave up, and that voice that was in the head completely silent. And it was an amazing experience. And then from then on, it was just, Vipassana teaches you to control. Basically, you can sense anything going on in your body, inside, outside. You can scan your entire body for stuck energies or old spiritual, mental, physical injuries. You can find these things, and it's just a pursuit of the truth. Vipassana is a pursuit of the truth. It's based on the teachings of Gautama Buddha, and Buddha never said, I want you to create a religion around me. He was always about, I want you to, pursue the truth and find out what your truth is. And it was an amazing experience. Something I'd like to go back and do. I just haven't made the time to do. And I've gotten, since then, I mean, came back and I was meditating a couple hours a day. And then when you get back in the world, that's a difficult thing to maintain, especially if you're running your own business and you got, clients and everything else, and people want to call you all hours of the day. But yeah, meditation is key. And then I got involved with Joe Dispenza's meditations. And his meditations are, I think he's really found the kind of the secret sauce. And I think it's a little bit of he's embedded some of the Monroe Institute gateway technique kind of things into his meditations, his guided meditations. But when I was doing some of his meditations, I was just getting fantastic results from it. I mean, it was just, this is the whole, what he calls, Dispenza calls the work. I mean, is what you have to do to make. Everybody wants to struggle on the external, with the external world and all the things going on and all the terrible things going on. But the work involves us altering the external world through the internal world. And and it's Dispenza stuff is really top notch. The problem I think was a lot of people have with Dispenza, he takes it at the very, very high, almost kind of like a physics professor level, and he really gives you a lot of information in a short period of time, and so you have to kind of like receive his teachings, several times, most people, in order to really kind of absorb what he's talking about. But he's really good. It's the when he started talking about one of his videos back in probably 2015, 2016, talking about Word made flesh and talking about what you can do with your thoughts to create structures within the brain and so on and so forth. It's so many things, like biblically speaking, so many instructions that come from the Bible, even the Bible, in Jesus, his teachings in the Bible were, don't look for the kingdom of heaven here or there. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And in my ayahuasca experiences, it's like, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean,
Yeah.
You go inside and then you see, the connections to everyone, everything, every living being is connected to everything in the universe. And when I saw that, it was like, okay, I get it, but it's, what I do to myself, or what I do to you, I do to myself. What I do to this tree, my tree out front, Cedric. Hello, Cedric. Cedar Elm. Yeah. Whatever I do to him, I do to myself. And so it's an amazing experience. And I've allowed, and that's the thing, is it's the, I forget the name of the person, something that along the lines of, I count him braver who conquers himself rather than his enemies.
1,000 armies, or
yeah. So it's just, the conquering. It's a lot easier to direct our energies, our antipathies, our anger, everything else towards some external foe, as opposed to, really where everything's coming from is within us. And it's easy to get off of that track. But I'm very glad to hear that you are continuing a meditation practice.
Thank you. I've been doing it for really since 2008, and really in the last year, I think I've kind of had like the biggest rep in terms of like the whole like kingdom of heaven in yourself. I've meditated almost every day since 2008, so thousands of times. There's probably been 5 times or so that blow the doors off even LSD and psilocybin. I mean, yeah, you talk about going in and finding the kingdom of God, and you're like, oh, this whole world of like of matter and energy is just kind of like a learning lesson, and like, it's like finding food in a dream and you're really hungry. Like, you can eat as much as you want. It's until you wake up and go eat that the hunger goes away. You realize you're like, oh, all the cars, all all the hot bitches, all the money, you're like, this is all, it could be ancient Egypt, or it could be now, or it could be the year 2500. You're like, this is all just, this is ephemera. It's inside. And
right.
You have to, as Ram Dass would say, you have to do the work. You have to get straight. Right. And 2 days a week, I like to have some beer and I like to order some Taco Bell and play video games. But 5 days a week, it's wake up, cardio, weights, meditation, shower, reading books, make my bed, make sure the apartment's clean, just constantly, just always trying to go inside, always trying to be the best. And you make these I think I make 5 steps forward, and then I like to take 2 steps back, but I still have a cumulative of 3 days forward every week. But that's all well and good. The meditation, when you first start and you first have a beautiful experience, all you're trying to do is get back to that beautiful experience, right? You're chasing the dragon. And after I would like to think of some wisdom of 14 years of doing this, I've realized that those experiences, they don't even come annually. They come about, well, I would say, from my own experiences, once every 3 years, you have one. But I've also gone from years of meditating where you're trying to push away the world. You're trying to, I don't need to watch TV. I don't care about your politics. I don't need women. I want to go inside to like the realms of light and peace. And yeah, when the inner voice goes away, it is peace beyond what I imagine any heroin injection could do. It is just beyond description. It is, I mean, that is nirvana. And
Mhm.
always pursuing that. And I got to push this away, this stupid physical body. And, you know, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too bright, it's too dark. And I don't like these socks. And this person's annoying me. Or, you know, it's all this stuff. And you view it as just this excess shit that you need to trim off because you want the good cutlet. You don't want any of the bullshit. And I think what I've finally come to terms with, maybe in the last year, maybe the last 2 years, is that whereas I used to want to meditate for hours a day, I'd be like, I just want to win the lottery and meditate nonstop forever. I've now realized that there are still some things I'm hung up on, not just negative energy. Because that's something you kind of realize early on. Like you said, you find these, you know, trauma or bad relationships or shit you've done and regret, and you're receiving that karma now. Oh, that's when I was a dick, and now it's coming back. And then the quarreling with karma, you're like, I never did this to anyone. Why is this year? And then that's ongoing. That's, you know, life is suffering. But what I found perhaps is the most interesting in my entire time meditating, it's the last 2 years of like, I also have these hangups on like positivity where I'm starting to realize like, I don't want to be enlightened just yet. I'm like, I really enjoy growing the podcast. I really enjoy, I gained a ton of weight after my brother died 8 years ago. I really enjoy losing weight and getting definition back in my face. I enjoy saving money. I enjoy flirting with girls. I enjoy reading books. I enjoy getting bigger and bigger guests. I want to develop this podcast. I want to earn money. I want to have a cool house. And for a while, I pushed those away because it just sounded like, well, I shouldn't be doing that. Why should we want to going inside? But the reality is, I mean, you can lie all you fucking want. Yeah, I try really hard to eat healthy. I'm never gonna lie and say I don't like fried chicken and French fries. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, you do. Of course. Right now, I would much rather, instead of chicken breast for dinner, I would much rather an ice cream sundae and a McDonald's McChicken. Of course, I would. If you're saying otherwise, you're phony. So what I kind of came to terms with was like, stop pushing it away and stop judging it. Embrace it, and I know I'll learn a lesson from it. Like I want the pot, like these pools of vanity. I want to get in better shape. I want to, you know, go out with hot girls. I want to be able to have a ton of money. I want to be able, you know, I want my family to be proud of me. I want my friends to be impressed with me. I want to look at this podcast and go, I fucking did that. I grew this from a laptop to this huge, I want to beat Rogan. And I look at all these things, and although part of me is like, you shouldn't want these, the other part of me is like, should or shouldn't, I do. And instead of going, all right, well, let's get lost in these, I now kind of have a new point of view. I'm like, let's get all of these. And I know I will learn that there's nothing there. I will go through the experience. There's nothing there. And I think I have to. I think if I try to pursue enlightenment, I will always be wondering what if. Versus now, I'm like, I want a Rolls Royce and I want it to be cool. And years down the road, I want to look at it and go, there's nothing there. I want a big house. I want vapid, meaningless relationships with beautiful women. I want to get to all of it. No, but seriously, I want to get to all of it to realize that there's nothing there. That true joy comes from, what did FDR say? There's no greater pleasure. There's no something along the lines of, there's no greater pleasure on earth than working hard towards something that's worth working hard towards. I wanna be there for my brothers. I wanna give a ton to charity. I want to help out. You know, I grew up and went to private school and had two wonderful parents, still have two wonderful parents who are married. Like I've experienced the land of opportunity. I've said this before, I want to build a medical school specifically about mental health and name it after my brother. I want to do all of these things, but I also know I kind of have to pursue the fleeting, ethereal, quick bursts of dopamine because I want to get through all of it and be able to say with no hangups, I want to be able to meditate in the year on Wednesday, June 29th, 2032. I want to meditate and go, no, now I'm actually not pursuing money or a penthouse or a cool car, not because I think, well, the Buddha wouldn't want this. I want to go, no, I got it. It's nothing. The real value comes from, if I could imagine what it will be, I would imagine once I work through all of these pleasures, I will probably theorize that no, the real value comes from meditation, doing work for others with no expectation or even desire for it to come in return, and enjoying existence. The truths that you come to realize deep in meditation, I know that's what I'll come to. But right now, like I said, every Thursday I get some beer and I get some Taco Bell, sometimes some Pizza Hut. And I want it more than anything because 5 days a week it's fucking grilled chicken and broccoli. And when I have it, it's great. And you know what? The next morning, I have no desire for alcohol. And it's not because I shouldn't want those things. I go, gross. I don't want to smell vodka. I don't want to look at a taco. Give me exercise. Give me reading. Give me making my bed. Give me cold showers and being clean shaven. I truly want to do the right thing. 5 days later, I'm like, give me that fucking chicken. And I want it. And I truly want it. And I don't do it because I think I should. I do it because I want a White Claw with some vodka and play video games till 5 a.m. And it's great. And I wake up the next morning and instead of going, now I should get back to the good life, I go, God in heaven, I'm having withdrawals. I'm shaking. I'm vomiting. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so sorry. I just want to exercise and walk outside and see the sun. So from that experience, I know that you have to go through it. Mm-hmm. And it's the point of this whole rant is it's different from the negatives where you go, I know I have to tackle the problems inside. This is very unique in that I'm like, there's a roller coaster ride. All spiritual teachings say you shouldn't be attached to these things. I want to go on the roller coaster. I really want to go on it. And I'm going to go on it just to realize that, it was cool. Sorry for that. I just bombarded you with that, but
no, I mean, it's fascinating because it's, there's so many things that come to mind in terms of the law of non-resistance, Bruce Lee and his philosophical teachings, be like water.
You can crash.
I don't know if you've heard of Debbie Ford's book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, but it's not pushing away. We are who we are, and one of the interesting things is, during my first ayahuasca experience, I'd listened and studied and heard everybody talk about, they're gonna, you throw, you go for the first things, then you throw up, then you have these other things going on, and when you throw up, it's all these, karmic expulsions of things and all the evil spirits and everything coming out of you. And I was convinced, I was like, man, I got some, I'm gonna be throwing my toes and toenails up. I got, the stuff I got in me. And so it was so funny because the first part of this experience is like, okay, I guess I'm gonna start throwing up now anytime, and so I'm getting these it's like 1960s psychedelic lights of neon signs of, pointing me to this way and that way and down the hallway and restroom, going over here. It's like, okay, well, I guess I need to go to the bathroom and go throw up. And then, so I stood up, and one of the guides who was there, this was at a Christian UDV church, basically Brazilian church. And one of the guides was there, he said, are you okay? And so he followed me in because, a lot of people, their first time is like, they're like wandering all over the place. And so I go to the bathroom. It's like, okay, it's time to throw up. Never threw up, not once. And I think I know what the lesson was from that was to accept all of you, the whole thing, the good, the bad, the whole enchilada. You are your soul, your spirit, everything is part of you, even the things that you want to reject, the things you think that are good and you want to embrace. There are no bad parts, there are no good parts, it's just you. And stop trying to get rid of those things that you think are bad. That's the whole Stoic experience, amor fati, love everything, the things that are good about you, the things that you think are not good about you. And so many times that we take these emotions like hate, anger, rage, whatever, and we put this bad label on them. And then when we start to experience those things, we say we should not be experiencing those things. We should not be feeling those things because those are bad things. But they're all there. All of our emotions are there to instruct us and to help us to understand, this particular lesson that we're going through for the fried chicken and the French fries and the beer and then the vodka and then the tequila and then the everything else that goes rotten after that.
Yeah.
After a good night of fun.
After every 2 a.m. After that 2 a.m. marker when it's nothing but bad.
Yeah. Been there, done that. So I've had some experiences with my kids that kind of the same thing. It's like, I shouldn't be feeling this way, or I shouldn't be experiencing this, or, I feel like this is a bad thing for me to be feeling this, whatever it is, depression, sadness, whatever it is. It's like, no, it's there. We're learning a lesson right now. And we need to let's feel into that emotion. Let's step into it and let's embrace it and let's see where it is. And then we just kind of say, thank you. And then detach and try and let it drop off. But yeah, everything you're talking about is we shouldn't attach so many even connotations. Eckhart Tolle talks about it's not the problem, the issue is not the problem. The problem is how we look at the issue. Or the big house. It's like, great. He talks about, you want a big house, go get a big house, and you can stand inside your big house.
Yeah, you have it.
And I've got I've definitely gone through those stages, and I'm at the point in my life where I'm fought a lot of fights and gone through a lot of stuff, politics and work and clients, and I'm just like, I'm simplify is where I am right now. And so but I understand, I can completely feel where you are, and just different stages in our lives, and those are the things we're here to I firmly believe to learn lessons, or a specific lesson, or many lessons. But I think to the extent that we want to push away the lessons that we get from the good, only take the good experiences and then push away and try to push away the bad experiences, to that extent, we will continue to repeat those experiences until we learn that lesson. And I truly believe that's our path.
It's what Ram Dass said. You're in school, take the curriculum. He was like, after enough time of, I don't want to, why am I in this stupid limiting flesh body? Why do I have emotions? And why do I get horny and hungry? And why do I want to do drugs and sleep and run and get in shape? And why do I want money or fame or knowledge? And eventually he's like, it's not by accident. You're not here by accident. He's like, stop looking at this as this excess shit. No, it's part of it. It's part of the thing. Like, you got to do the thing. And
right.
Yeah, I think in college, I wanted nothing more than to get into medical school. I had no desire to party. I mean, once a month, maybe. It wasn't there. And I'd look around, and I remember it took me like a year, because early on I was like, I should be wanting to party. I'm 19 and in college. This is what we do. And everyone else was doing it. And I was like, I should do this. And it finally took me a year to like grow some balls and go, I don't really want to go out tonight or next week. I want to study. I want to get into medical school. I want to get letters of recommendation. I want to do research at the toxicology lab on Saturdays. This is what I wanted. And living in a frat house and growing up and living in a frat house and not taking home sorority girls, because it's like, no, I want a meaningful relationship. You kind of get some shit from it, but I found like this deep, profound pool of bliss, because I was like, I was like, I love studying. I love working towards getting my GPA up. I loved all of it. And I did that for so long, and I truly loved it. And now I can only imagine, like, now I'm like my own boss. I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. That was the feeling I had towards the very end of college, right when I got into medical school. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Every light was blinking red. It was like, no, go to medical school, be a doctor. You have a girlfriend. Your parents are proud. Your girlfriend's parents are proud. You're gonna. And I was like, I remember thinking, because I did mushrooms the day I graduated, I was like, I can come to this decision now, this hard decision of saying I don't want to go to medical school, or I can just do it in the next lifetime. But I was like, I don't think I can avoid it. I think you can kind of delay it. I was like, I don't think I failed from pre-calculus 3 straight semesters in college. Straight A student, OChem, molecular biology, physics, blew it all out of the fucking park. Pre-calculus. Every halfway through, I just withdraw, fail. I don't want anything to do with it. And I remember the 4th time, I was like, I just have to do this. It doesn't matter if it makes no sense and you'll never use it. Just do it. And I got an A. And I remember thinking, I can turn this down. I can turn down this medical school acceptance. I was like, I can do it now or I can do it in the next life. I was like, let's just do it now. And I remember when everyone asked me, they're like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to be my own. This is how stupid I was. December 2013, I go, I'm going to quit. I want to be my own boss. And it wasn't even like, I want to be my own boss and I want to start a podcast. They were like, oh, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. What? You don't even have a game plan? So a couple months after that, when my brother took his life, I went on a couple year-long binge of just drinking and drugs and blah, 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 blah. In 2016, I was finally like, all right, now it's time to find what I want to do. And I tried writing, I tried comedy, I tried video editing, Photoshop. It wasn't until 2019 I found this. But the point is because I've told the story a trillion times on this podcast, is from like the spiritual level. Like when I finally started this and I finally got to achieve the thing I wanted so badly, something that was so strong, it made me turn down the medical school acceptance. A medical school acceptance that was so strong, it made me want to have no part of the 18-year-old single male with a functioning sex drive. I wanted that. This was even more powerful. And now that I'm in it, it's absolute bliss. And I'm finding there are more things where it's, you have to just lean in. Are you hurting anybody? No? Okay. Lean in and go for it. And really what you find is there's nothing there. And that sounds depressing. That sounds like I have all this money and I'm in a big house and I got a gold-plated Lamborghini and there's nothing here. To me, I'm like, bingo, that's it. Because what I'm doing is I'm just checking things off my to-do list in this life. Mm-hmm. And as you get farther and farther down, it's not depression. Nothing can make me happy. You're like, oh, none of it is there. It's all right here. But I don't think you can actively desire to just be right here if you have these other little hangups. I just want to be right here. I kind of want some Taco Bell. No, you don't. No, you don't. No. Go into it. And I can tell you now, after doing it for like a year, every Thursday is great. But every Thursday I enjoy it maybe like 1% less. I'm like, it's not depression. It's just, it was great. But you don't push it. As Ram Dass said, he's like, if you want to be celibate, be celibate. It's like, but do it because you want to. He's like, otherwise you're just a horny meditator. Like, he was like, do it if you want. And for so long, for me, meditation was about tackling the hurt and the negativity. Don't ignore that. Have this discussion. And now it's so odd because I feel like I ate all my vegetables and now I'm at the dessert and I feel guilty about having the dessert. And part of my brain's like, nope, go for the dessert. And you will find that that's not the answer. So I don't know. I don't really know where it is, but I think the conclusion is just don't resist whatever it is, that whether it's an anxious pang. Hey, you need to have this discussion with this friend. You guys are both putting it off, or you need to get out of this relationship. Or it's go try it out. What would doing this feel like? Go get shit faced. All right. And it's just,
so what do you think are the from a societal standpoint, world standpoint, I'm seeing almost kind of like a convergence. A lot more people are kind of waking up to the whole spiritual side of things in terms of this being a journey and whatnot. But also just from the perspective that we're spiritual beings in a physical body, and kind of like Bob Lazar's um, discussion about whoever, the Illuminati, whoever's in charge of the, who's behind the whatever, behind the veil, pulling the strings or what have you. Talking about the convergence of the timelines, and at the very end, the good guys win, the bad guys lose, and there's nothing that they can do about it. Now they're shitting bricks, and they can't figure things out. But it seems like there's a lot of I don't know if you know Stephen Greer. So you've probably interviewed him. I don't know.
No, I've tried. I've tried.
TPC, 97 or something. But
I've tried. I've actually been. He's one of the first guys I tried to get, and I still can't get him. I'd love to.
Yeah. So he's, the whole CE5 concept, and he's actually doing one, I think, this weekend. Trying to go from a global standpoint for us to be connecting with the others in the universe, and most of whom are kind of like energetic beings and multidimensional energetic beings, and able to, they're more advanced than we are in our spacesuits. And so you see that, and you see just the work of the Power of Eight. You've interviewed her, but the intentions work. And so I see the Greer's work and the work on intentions kind of like coming together. And then from just from a global perspective, it's maybe not, I don't know, I would hope in my lifetime, but certainly in yours, we can see hopefully we can see the people coming together, understanding what forming an intention and being intentional about the power of our thoughts, the power of our spiritual intentions, and what we can accomplish, and the changes you can make with your own, as co-creators, with your own environment, your own world. And not just giving into the whole, what I call the being in the theater of your mind, where a lot of people just want to, look at the screen that your mind gives you, and just be, they're eating the popcorn and letting the ego and the mind and everything else, run that whole narrative, and how awful things are, and like staring at the car wreck. And the way I see it is, you're in a small room, very, very small room, with two screens in front of you, one for each eye, and your ego is running the show, and it's tied into all the other egoic beings that are trying to, very much tied to the terrestrial world, and the objective is for you to turn your back on that whole narrative, turn around physically, visually, spiritually, everything else, and stare into the inky black of infinite possibility, as Joe Dispenza would say. And then that's where we create that out of that blackness, out of that infinite space of possibility. That's where we ultimately create. And once people start to really understand that, and understand that the ego wants to give us this movie of this bullshit, and we can create much more interesting lives, and experience much more rich life, than what this little 3 to 5 year old ego is trying to do for us. I see a movement abroad. I mean, a large, more and more people kind of tuning into that whole idea. It's like, that's going inside and doing the work is making a lot of difference. And to your point on the meditation things, I mean, even walking meditations, even meditating while you're working, finding ways to it doesn't have to necessarily be in a frozen state. It can be in a moving state. It can be, so many of these, we can experience these things so many different ways. Blaise Pascal was oh shoot, it was in Map of Heaven. I know you've interviewed that author.
Dr. Alexander.
Yeah, yeah, and but the interesting thing is, it's like heaven is just like right there. It's just like,
Yeah.
just reach. It's just, there is no up, down, side to side.
Yeah.
It's just the veil.
That's
Um,
another experience you have on like really deep meditation or psychedelics. You're like, oh, there's not like a million steps I need to climb in judgment. You're like, it's like heaven's just like this chair. It's like just, oh, it's right there. Yeah, no, it's right there.
Yep, yep, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I mean, in terms of the human race, what we're seeing going on in Ukraine right now, and all the whew, all the propaganda, and it just seems like there's this claw coming out, for the last grasp, trying to save the despots and all the evil shit that's going on in the world, and then it's just all going to implode, and then it could be terrifying or beautiful, whatever comes out of the next phase, but or all the above. But that's where I kind of see us headed towards anyway.
I have like three, I mean, like a million, but like three big ones where I look at like realities that I think might happen. One of them, and it's shrinking every day, and it has been for years, is that it's all going to shit, that there's going to be a new world order. We're going to live in a 1984 technocratic dystopia. That's one possibility. You can lean in, and if you want to be scared and afraid, I think you will get there, which is a weird thing to say, because it's like, well, don't you mean we're all going to go there? And it's like, no, you might go to a world where everyone's there with you, but like it's not me, like you could go to an alternate reality where you and I don't do like podcasts, and like you'll exist in that one, but I won't. I'll be in this one. So it's like it's a weird. I think you'll go down whatever road you work towards, believe in, and give your energy to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's one of them. A World Economic Forum, dystopia, Illuminati, whatever. All right. Another
You'll
one,
own nothing, and you'll be happy.
yeah. And then to a point where we'll look back at that and say those were the good old days when Klaus is in charge. I mean, just pure blackness and evil. That's one, and that's shrinking every day. It's the one that if I let my mind go, it starts to pull me towards, which to me says like, oh, all I need to do is put a little bit of focus in, and you're not there. If I don't meditate every day, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to work hard. All it takes is 20 minutes of meditation. I'm like, all right, let's go read a book. Let's go eat healthy. Let's go meditate. Let's go do a podcast. Let's go work towards the thing I'm trying to build. If I don't meditate, I'm like, I just want to stay in bed. I just want to scroll Reddit. I just want to drink beer. So it takes very little effort to kind of move.
Be on Reddit with all the other tortured souls.
Exactly. I want to fall into like the wailing depths of the inferno of whatever the hell the netherworlds is, Pluto,
Twitter, same.
Yeah, whatever the Greek underworld was, just like the pool of souls going down to nothing. Yeah, but it's like the lowest, to me, that's like the lowest entropic form. If I let everything,
the worm's eye view, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's yeah, the worm's eye view. Yeah, it's the very bottom of the bottom. And to me, it's not, it used to be scary that exists, but now I'm like, oh, that's just the lowest form. That's what happens when you do nothing. Well, how easy is it to do something? And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. So I look at that. The next one I look at is that what we are seeing is not that we're going to that world, but that world has existed for all of mankind, and we're slowly moving away from it. And as we move away from it, we see the screeching animal lash out, right? You see the toddler that's just, no, mom's taking him to bed. He gave up. None of his tactics are working. So he's just screaming and throwing things down. It's like, all right, baby, you're going up to bed. I kind of look at it like this. It's the cornered animal. It's lashing out. So we see more and more. It's less cunning. It's less patient. It doesn't boil the frog slowly. It doesn't manipulate things. It goes, war in Ukraine, COVID, vaccine, censorship, terrifying transsexuals, and reading to your kids and twerking in front of children with a neon sign that says it's not going to lick itself. And you see all of this, and from one hand, it's like, look at this evil world. The other hand's like, no, man, I think it's dying. And I think in its death, we're seeing even Hitler, as evil as Hitler was, he got even evil in his final days with
Oh yeah.
the Nero decree, burn everything, cut every wire, and then like kill yourself. Like, and he was like, what? He was like, no, the Aryan race, even you are not good enough. I mean, he truly in his final moments just was engulfed by blackness, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
so that's why
Where are we seeing that today?
yeah, I know, right? So
Yeah.
but that's what I look at now is I'm like, is the animal just screeching? And there's another one, and this is I guess this is a fourth. I'll go. What you call it? The third. It's what Duncan Trussell said. I remember listening to him years and years ago, probably like 2015 or 2016 on Rogan. And he goes, "Part of me thinks like as we see the world, you know, the the oil spills and the nuclear reactors and the genocide and the famine and the," he goes, part of me thinks that this is just the dream collapsing. This is the way, kind of like Inception, like it starts getting wild and it's like this is just the dream collapsing. But instead of having a panic attack and your heart goes up, you're seeing the world that you've manifested. So it's like, oh, there's climate change and the animals are dying and there's an asteroid, and really it's just, what happens when you hit the ground after falling off a cliff in your dream? You wake up. He was like, is this just the world collapsing? So there's another one. And then a fourth I would say is that it's completely independent of everyone else's, and that it's not going to fall to a dystopia or a utopia. It's going to fluctuate between the two for eternity. And it's because the big lesson here isn't to have a utopia on Earth. This is just a classroom. By the time you're a senior in college, you know where the cool parties are. You know which are the cool bars. You know which classes to go to. You want to get Tuesday, Thursday classes. You don't want an 8 a.m. lab. You've got it fucking figured out. Then you have these terrified freshmen in dorms who have never been away from their parents. They have fake IDs and they're shit in their pants and they don't know how to act cool. And they do it. And you're like, oh, these guys have no idea. But and then the irony is though, is the guy that has it figured out, he's kicked out at the end of the semester. He's a senior. He's gone. And by the time you figure it out again, there's a bunch of idiots coming in. And so part of me thinks it's like, but the university's never figured out, right? There's never like a class of expert students who are like, we know all the cool parties. No, the entire thing is a clusterfuck from freshmen through seniors because it is this tumultuous learning process. You're not there to fix it. You're there to be finished and you learn. And so part of me thinks it's like, it's not meant to be figured out. You're never supposed to master the gym. You go to the gym to constantly push yourself. I reached this point now. Now I can curl this much weight. Great. Okay. Turn it up a notch. Wait, what? Yeah, turn it up a notch. Oh, yeah, you're finished and you're sweating. You're out of breath. And you're like, oh my God. And 3 months later, you're like, I can do this workout easily now. It's like, cool beans, dude. Turn it up a notch. You're never supposed to get to a point where you've mastered it. The purpose of it is resistance. So when I look at it in that way, I'm like, oh, maybe the world isn't supposed to be figured out, which is a very easy thing for us to say living in 2022 America. We have it good. Tell that to someone in, tell that to a gay guy in Saudi Arabia, or tell that to an unwanted daughter in China, or a member of the wrong tribe in Africa. And they're like, oh, yeah, this is great. Yeah, sure, Tommy. We're just learning here. My parents were just killed. I get that. I don't get it. But I'm like, oh, we're not here to create utopia or dystopia. We're here for a semester. We're learning this thing. And yeah, by the time you figure it out, Buddha, Ram Dass, what happens? You die. You're gone. The coolest guy on campus. He has it all figured out. He graduated. Now he's at Geico. Or now he's just a terrifying freshman in medical school. And the seniors there are looking at him like, yeah, you fucking idiot. And then he goes to residency, and the senior residents are like, this young guy is freaking out. Then he becomes a doctor, and the OG veteran surgeons are like this terrified new young blood. And then he finally finishes, and then he's gone. And so if you look at it from that standpoint, it's like there is no coalescence where, yeah, Stephen Greer, we ascend into consciousness and become these beings, or there is, and then there's another bigger game after this. So everything I'm just saying freshman to senior, maybe we all come together, our collective consciousness rises. There's just perfect healthcare and resources and education and learning and equality for all men, women, and children. And it's perfect. And we're in perfect harmony with the world, and we're not harming animals, and we're not destroying the earth. And we just hit this like perfect creation. Well, then I imagine there's probably a level after that where it's like, okay, now you guys are going to be these super advanced galaxy traversing spirit beings, and you're going to go deal with these dipshit apes on this planet in this place where they're raping each other. Like 10 guys own all the wealth. They're burning oil. They're genocides. Here's Hitler. And you're like, what are you doing? And they're like, you were once there. You were once there where you erected gold statues, and you're like, I'm in a penthouse. How is being in a penthouse any different than a monkey being at the highest branch in a tree? It's so simple. Maybe one day we evolve from all of it, and we're in this world of like spirit beings. And you know what? I bet when we get there, we're also going to be in a world of like spirit demons that make Hitler look like a good guy. And we're going to be like, how the fuck? Hey, I get overcoming Hitler, and we beat him, and we all rose our consciousness and became one, and we had hydrogen fuel cells, and they're like, that thing is a literal demon. That is Satan. And then there is going to be some seniors that look back at us, and they're going to be like, oh, you guys are new here, aren't you? And maybe instead of an 80-year lifetime, it takes 80 million years to go through that cycle to where you graduate to the next thing. What would the next thing be? You probably start creating your own universes. And then it would be like, oh God, now we're in this whole thing. Because right, you move from Earth to like the galaxy to multiple galaxies. The next would be, no, now you create it all. And that would be terrifying, because it'd be like, wait, I have to create good guys and bad guys? Like, yeah, you got to create a Hitler. You're like, I don't want to. It's like, you got to have a good antagonist. You're like, but I don't want to. And it's like, you have to teach these. You're God now. And you're
there
like,
has to be a dark side to the light.
Yeah.
So you know like, what the light is.
Like, I'm God now. And they're like, you're God now. And you're like, I don't want to be God. You're supposed to look up to God. And they're like, buddy, now you're there. And you're like, oh my. And then you experience the terror of having no one to look up to or something. I don't know. But so from that standpoint, then you would see that like there is no end goal. Does the earth become utopia? Either no, because you're not supposed to perfect it, you're supposed to learn here, or yes, in the same way that yes, you graduate and then you're just a scared shitless freshman at the next one. So either way, I think it's just an eternity of growth and learning. And you slowly...
that was the actual, I actually learned more about my Christian faith at Vipassana through my Vipassana teacher than I did at any church.
Sure.
And it was the interesting thing that he said, he talked about Jesus Christ. He said, why should I follow Jesus Christ, or why should I be a Christian, or whatever, is it all these rites and rituals and ceremony and words to remember, or the Jesus Christ on the cross who says, after he's been scourged, tortured, and ridiculed, and dragged through the streets, and wrongly accused, and being crucified, in his last breath, he looks, calls out to his Father and said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. And and he says, that's the guy I can follow. And it, to me, it's that really allowed me to kind of see through. I mean, there's all the things that go, I'm a Catholic, so talk about rites and rituals, but there's certain things that we see as kind of an ultimate truth, or I now see as an ultimate truth. And those things, you go back to when the Pharisees were trying to trick Jesus into giving some wrong answers. What are the two? What's the greatest commandment? The greatest commandment, he said, was love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. And then he doubled down and said, and love your neighbor as yourself. And I think those two things, if you just kind of like grasp onto something some way, if we just love our neighbors as ourselves, the problem is that a lot of us hate ourselves, and we don't know how to show love to another person, a stranger, or what have you. And so I think I think in terms of, I've come to think that, in terms of amassing some sort of pile of works, or I think it's more about acts. I think it's more about, showing love to others, even people you intensely hate, and understanding that love is truly the only transformative power in the universe. I mean, hate will just reflect itself, and kind of, if you respond to hate with hate, it's just going to either magnify or come right back at you. And Douglas Adams in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, he talks about the infinite mind void. That was the ultimate punishment of the galaxy, of the justice system in the galaxy, was to put a person in the infinite mind void, to show what an insignificant speck of insignificance that person was in relation to the entire galaxy or universe or whatever. And to me, the thing that trumps that, if you were to be placed in this infinite mind void, is love. I mean, the whole thing about, if you have a love for a parent or a child or whatever, I mean, you're immediately connected to that individual if you just think about them with the love in your heart or whatever. And so I think, in that regard, I think what we're learning, perhaps as a society, hopefully as a society, is that, love is a space you have to be in for everything, is a space you need to act out of, and not in terms of, anger, hate, fear. Those things are empty. Those things are, lead to dead ends, literally dead ends. And so I think it's, the whole, so I'm still got a little bit of the brain fog, but the Lynn McTaggarts, the Evan Alexanders, the people, the Stephen Greers, who are kind of converging onto this idea of a global intention, and just having just 10% of the population. If we can just get 10% of the population to that point where we can all come together on an intention of love and kindness and so many other things, we can start to move the needle in the direction it needs to go. And I think, to your point, there is certainly, the multidimensional universe, and the guys with the low vibrational energies or whatever are playing over there, and the people who choose to create that other world are over here. I think that's very much a possibility, a reality. And to the extent that we're able to control our own interactions with the universe, I think that's something we can create ourselves.
And then, kind of like a weird thing is like, the even deeper you go, you're like, wait, why are we here learning anything? Like, what do I need to learn if I'm this ethereal, eternal, all being? Why do I even need to learn? And then it's almost like the universe winks at you, and it's like, why do you need to learn? And it's like, oh, even this thing is just another, we feel so like high-minded. We're like, oh, it's not about money and power, it's about loving and growing. And then you zoom out even more, and you're like, well, why does there have to be a moving process of growth? Why can't it just be now? And you're like, what? No, but we should be becoming loving beings and growing and reaching heaven. And it's like, why does there need to be movement? Why does it have to progress? Why do you have to become something? How come it can't just be now? And then that's a head fuck, because you're like, what do you mean now? And it's like, what if it was just here now? It's not a video game that you play through. Some of the best video games are sandbox video games. There's no plot. There's no character development. You don't unlock anything. It's just like a physics engine. You can break shit or build shit. But you have progressed. You are as far in the game on your first second of playing as you are on your 10,000th, because it's just, you don't win the sandbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't win Legos. You're just playing. And then that's like an entirely new, which I've barely even, I wouldn't even say scratch the surface. I'd say I'm somewhat aware of, because clearly, as I said, I'm still in this, like, I need to experience this. I need to experience that. We're here to grow. We're here to love. Is it aliens? Is it dystopia? Is it even this is like, you can tell we're just in the first class of our first semester at college. And then there's some grad student going like, yeah, no, you're still stuck in that idea of like, there is time where you progress forward. And you're like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, man, this is just your, it's just kind of looking down on you. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? There might be that. We might even be stuck. So what is like the conclusive thing of all of it? That I am, right? That's kind of that is the most dissolved, simple down of every infinite reality and possibility and whatever the purpose is. And is there purpose or it all comes down to, well, what do we know? I am now.
Mm-hmm.
You could even get rid of now because that implies time. I am.
Mm-hmm. I am that I am.
What if one day that you evolve so far that seems as obscure and silly as we're looking at the pursuit of power and wealth? And it's like, no, dude, it's not about that. It's about love. There might be a reality where you go, oh man, those unenlightened beings thinking that I am, you're like, wait, what? They're like, oh yeah, dude, no, that's base level shit. You're like, what are you talking about? Like that might be. So what's even beyond that? Okay, maybe there is no I, but there is.
Well,
Like,
you just
it
think about
is.
you think about just from an energetic being standpoint. I mean, if you've surpassed the physicality and you're to an energetic standpoint, a being of energy, then how are you sustained? You're sustained by the energy of the universe, the energy of others. There's a transaction, but you don't need the sustenance that a physical body would.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the things that we strive for ultimately are to be able to put food in our mouth and a roof over our head.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that striving for that is no longer there, to the point where we've evolved to this point of spiritual energetic beings, which we seem to be in a universe that has such beings, then it's like, okay, well, then what are the essential transactions? What are the essential interactions? And then it's just, could truly be just something about love. I mean, it could be as simple as that. I mean, you listen to some of Stephen Greer's, some of his encounters, and it seems to be truly that. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey, we're here, you're good, you're loved and you're cared for. And
All is
kind of
well.
the Eben Alexander's message
All is
from his
well.
experiences. Yeah, all is well. And so don't stress about this thing. We got you. Kind of a thing. And so that'd be a pretty cool place to be in. To be evolved to that level and as a race, as beings or whatever. And maybe there's I don't know the whole design of this thing, but maybe there's this progression, somewhere through these lifetimes, that we're able to experience those things, or maybe not. Yeah, who knows? That's the grand mystery.
I think there definitely is. And then you'd wonder, like, why did I have to go through all this pain and suffering? Like, if there is just this like lounge of heaven, this like back room of just like perfection.
Because you would never appreciate it otherwise.
Well, there you go. As you go, why
Yeah.
why did I have to go through this? And they're like, you didn't. You might be like, what? And they'd be like, you chose to. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden the memory comes back of you were there for eternity. And just kind of one day you're like, because you're there for eternity. I mean, a trillion raised to the trillion, raised to the trillion, raised to the trillion, eternity. And one day you're just like, I wonder what it'd be like to just be scared shitless, a scared shitless ape on a rock around a star with physics that no one quite understood. And there was war and famine, and you never knew if today was your last. And you had to make, and here's another part: you had to eat and drink in order to keep existing. You, the eternal being, actually had limitations on you, and you forgot that you were an eternal being. Why do that? I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun. And it's just you and some buddies. Like, why are we going to the bar tonight? I don't know. Let's just get shit faced, dude. It's Monday. All right, you do it because it's just fucking fun. and just might be you and some other god beings like, dude, did you hear what Mike cooked up? And you're just sitting there in perfect bliss, and you're like, no, they're like, get this. And they fucking bring you and show the PowerPoint. They're like, scared shitless, don't know how you got there. We'll have a whole backstory about kings and in pyramids and dinosaurs and whatever. Okay, and we bring me in the middle of nowhere. You're just gonna be on a rock in the middle of nowhere. Just talk about anxiety. All right. And what do you have to do? You don't even know what you have to do. You just kind of want to have sex. You're kind of always hungry and you're kind of always tired. And then what happens? I don't know, but we put this thing together. We put it together and we mashed it up and we put it in a bowl and we're all about to hit it. Do you want to hit this bowl? And you're like, dude, I'm so fucking in. Right? Why do you go watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose with your friends? Because, dude, it's gonna be so scary. Why we get on this roller coaster going, oh fuck, I want to get off. You can't get off. You want to, and then you're just laughing and screaming.
Yeah.
You get on a roller coaster, you know you're gonna be terrified. You get on it and you instantly start going, okay, I'm not even kidding anymore. I don't want to be on this. And it's climbing and you're like, all right, I know we're doing this because it's funny and whatever, but like, guys, I'm actually kind of scared of it. And you're like, fuck. You get to the top and you're like, oh my, and then you get off and you're like, dude, that was so fun. And then you have another friend going, I don't want to go on that. And you're like, dude, neither did I, but then I did it and it was fucking amazing. And then like, it might be that. It might be like when you and your friends eat pop brownies and get too high. For the next 5 years, you guys laugh about, do you remember when we got too high and we thought we were going to die? Like, remember when we thought everyone was
and we called the police?
Yeah, remember when we thought the FBI was, remember when we thought the mailman was the FBI? And we thought your dog was a listening device? We're like, oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, and then we woke up and we've been giggling about it for years. It might be like,
Could be.
It might be that. And you come back afterwards and you see your other friends who went through it and they're like, yeah, dude, I died on D-Day. And like another one's like, oh, dude, I was Jeff Bezos. And it was just like, and then you guys go up to the other friends. You're like, hey, you guys want to hit this? They're like, what is it? And you're like, it's life. They're like, what's that? And they're like, dude, it's fucking nuts. Because no matter what, you come down. No matter what you do, the roller coaster stops. The scary movie does end. And you're looking at it and you're going, wait, we've been in heaven for eternity? Yeah. What happens after this? Heaven for eternity.
And Billy over here thought it was a great idea to go to Jupiter.
Jesus. Yeah. What happened to him? He died on re-entry. He fucking retard. Like, it's just like, oh shit. And then there's like high scores and stuff. And you're like, dude, fucking Alexander the Great over here. And he's like, what's up, pussies? Like, you got fucking, what about this guy over here? Dude, Elon Musk, he became like the king of the Space Federation. And you're like, dude. And then you're like, some guys pushed it too hard, too fast. Like who? Well, JFK was really good looking and had a hot wife and everyone loved him. What happened? Everybody else kind of got jealous. They took him off the leaderboard. Like it could be all this shit, right? And then like, but it might just be like Michael Jordan over here, Tom Brady, and everyone's like, oh motherfucker, I'm gonna come back and I want to beat his high score. No, dude, his high score has stood for years. No one's ever gonna get more than 5 Super Bowls. And one guy's like, dude, hold my fucking beer. And he goes in there. It's Tom Brady, and he comes out afterwards and he's like, suck it, bitches. Suck it, TD12, and you're just like, it might be that. Like it might be that. Like it
could very well be.
To me, there's no reason why it couldn't be.
Yeah.
It might just be a scary movie. You're walking out of the theater afterwards. You're like, dude, I was totally convinced that Klaus Schwab was going to take over the world. Like, I didn't see a way out of it. I thought we were going to the Great Reunion. Dude, so did I. And one guy's lying. He was like, no, I always knew it was going to come out good. Like, no, you didn't. You were crying, bitch. You were scared of the vaccine mandates. Like, no, you weren't, you fucking pussy. We were all scared shitless. And the thing is like, sometimes it might actually go through. Like, it might actually, the World Economic Forum wins. And it was terrifying. You die in a pod eating bugs.
Somehow we have to drag the F-14 Tomcat out of the hangar and
go fucking Top Gun
go save the world.
Yeah. But the thing is that there might not even be a positive arc. Like the bad guy might win. Like a true scary movie, the good guy doesn't come out of the end. It's just blackness and nihilism. But even that, you wake up and you go, the entire time I kind of thought like humanity was going to band together and beat the World Economic Forum. We didn't. They won.
Yeah.
You're like, even World War II, like the Nazis in concentration camps, like the camps were still liberated. Like Hitler was killed. There was no silver lining. Wow, that was a dark movie. You're like, I don't want to. You're going on like the god tier.
Yeah, the system. Nazis are still climbing around the world after that too.
Yeah, you leave a review on like the group text. You're like, dude, 5 out of 5 stars, was genuinely terrifying. Like, if this isn't for you, you might not want it, but like this was, and then there's like really simple ones where it's like, oh yeah, you're just like I don't know. You're just like a rock, you're just like a rock star. You're right. You're like I don't know, like a Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, like the whole world's gonna love you. You're the best at what you do. You're like 18 and living the life of a rock star. And that's like beginners. You just get to go in and you're like a kid born with 300 IQ. That's just like that's like the tutorial mode. There's no challenges. It's nothing really. It's. And then there's like you can put it on expert, and that's like being like a Carnegie or a Rockefeller, like born into nothing, or a Vanderbilt. And you're like, claw your way to the top, become a Titan. Like, I don't know, man. Like it
Or
might
be Abe Lincoln and have all these myths written about you.
Yeah,
That'd be fun too.
you could do anything, or it could be like, yeah, or you could live a life, or you could live the game so perfectly that you'd be Jesus or Buddha. They'd be like, dude, this guy fucking wasn't on the highest leaderboard, but he hasn't played the game in over like 2,000 years. And, people are still fucking like reading his tutorials. That might be the way to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And then the crazier thing is you might then wake up from that and be like, dude, there's this game where you're a god for eternity. And then you do this thing. It could go forever, man. And one of the things in it might just be you're gonna fucking be a podcaster hanging out with Mike Ford. Like that's a possibility within this realm.
That could be a fate worse than death. I don't know.
If you could be, if you're listening to this now, you are in the innermost circle of hell. I'm sorry. You are Dante's Inferno. You're in the center. You're in the ice field. The three-headed Satan or whatever the fuck.
It's getting really hot in here all of a sudden.
Yeah. The global warming thing. You ever thought twice about that? Getting a little hot up in there, huh? Mark of the beast. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the Frenchy French thought 30 degrees Celsius was hot. Shit.
It's like you're reading like the old like prophecies, and it's like, and you will know you are in like the center of despair when you listen to you like translate it from ancient hieroglyphics, and it's like Mike Ford and Tommy Carrigan, and you just have that. You're like, oh god. I don't fucking know, man.
This again.
Yeah. I fucking hate this game. I've played it every time with you guys. I always end up in the center of hell listening to Tommy and Mike Ford, and you guys say it's fun. I don't want to play anymore. How come Bob doesn't play anymore?
Level 13 sucks.
I've been here forever. Like, okay, dude, like, I know you guys played it once and then you got good, and after 5 tries, you were Elon Musk. Like, that's cool. I'm not. I'm still stuck here. And it's like, all right, dude, then don't play the game. And it's like, how come Bob doesn't play? He's never gotten past level 13. Like, wait, what? Like, I don't know. He just never got past. What are you guys doing? We're playing life. Do something else. All right. Told you I wasn't going to join us. Like, it's like, it might be.
Hey, Mikey likes it.
Hey, yeah. Hey, dude, Mike played. What happened? Oh, he hit level 130 his first try. Fuck you. This game's rigged. Like, it might be, but you still send a request to him. They're like, dude, he'll be hurt if we don't ask him to play. Hey, Bob, you want to come play? No. At least we asked. You were good friends. Like, it just might be that. I don't know, man. I don't know. But to me, the idea that we can even entertain that tells me it's like, well, it might not be. Like, it might not be that crazy.
No.
What's to say otherwise?
It's just the limit. It's just the limit of the imagination, truly. And it's you think it's absurd, but then again, you think of the guys who are writing about the trying to comprehend certain things that the messengers of God and the prophets and everything else were trying to send to them, and they're like, okay, let me see if I can put that into what you just said into how am I going to phrase that? Okay, let's give that a shot.
Do unto others that you would like to have done to you. That sounds good.
And
what happened to him?
And the oil lasted, no kidding, that long. Okay. Yeah. The Maccabees are just pretty awesome. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just like people, the limitations of our own human spacesuit thinking, the spacesuit that we've got on that allows us to navigate this. Just the limitations there are. I mean, it's fun to kind of explore the boundaries of that and riff off on some truly some game theory. If we want to think about it that way, the game theory of existence and of infinite infinite existence. And so, what would that look like? I think it's a fun thing to explore.
to me, it's like, well, I don't know about you, but like the experience I just had, us riffing off that, going back and forth, it's like belly laughs, kind of lightness. You're like, oh fuck, that would be funny. To me, that is like a fancy way of dressing up the sensation of love. It's a
Yep.
love doesn't have to be looking into the eyes of the woman you love. It could be like sitting. I mean, what are we really doing? Like you and I are both sitting in these chairs on this rock in the middle of nowhere for whatever reason, just giggling through this screen like children. That's like a manifestation of love. How else would love like?
Truly is.
So to me, I'm like,
Truly
if
is.
that idea is love and everything is love, then like not only would that theory that we just came up with be possible, like it's probably probable. If everything's love and there's just a little bit of bad in the world, well, statistically, then there's a higher chance of that being reality than evil.
Well, look what we just created, right?
Yeah,
Co-created.
yeah, yeah. It's a
Yep.
new video game. It's fucking. It's gonna be as big as Halo or Super Mario or Star Fox. Like we just created an instant classic.
Yeah.
It's out there in the world to enjoy now. I don't know.
Well, I certainly hope more people catch on, because the whole thing that's going on in it's I don't know how do we preference what's going on in Ukraine with the whole Russia thing. And I mean, I'm definitely on the side of protecting, the right to protect people, and
Sure,
not a fan of the whole subjugation of the Russian speaking populations and whatnot.
sure.
But I'm also, with my experience with nuclear weapons, I'm,
Yeah,
it's almost the thing. If you think about it, and understand that you are a being who can create. It's not something that you want to meditate on at all, and you actually want to meditate on the absolute opposite of that: peace and love and everything else. And but it's like, goodness gracious, it's like a slow moving car crash, and you just can't turn away from it. But kind of like what Mario Andretti would say is, how do you not hit the wall? Is like, don't look at the wall. Steer away from the steer in the direction that you want to go. So that's where we got to take our minds and steer those in the direction we want to go. And hopefully the people who are suffering in Ukraine now, and that can bring some benefit to them.
I kind of look at it as like I focus my intent every day on just like the best possible reality. And some days you really believe it. Like today is a day where it's like, man, this is what I was fucking working towards. Being able to wake up in my own apartment, go to the gym, hang out, and have a goofy conversation as my job. And it's like, fuck yeah. And then there are days where it doesn't seem like it's going that way at all and everything seems bleak. But whether or not I believe it or don't believe it, I always tell myself that like, we are moving towards a perfect existence of love and harmony. And you know, does our thoughts and intentions have an effect on reality? I personally think they do. Maybe
Oh
they
yeah, they
don't.
do.
No, let's play with the fact that maybe they don't. And people look at you and they're like, "Oh, you're trying to manifest your world." Maybe it is goofy, but even that, I would rather be in the mindset of I'm moving towards love, whether or not it is factual. Because it's the Charles Bukowski quote: "You don't need to hold on to a fire; just hold on to a spark. A spark can burn down a forest.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
hold on. Just hold
Yep.
on, and it will eventually." You keep applying pressure to the knob and you're turning it on the safe. Eventually it'll open, but you have to apply the pressure. You don't want to miss the moment. And that's kind of where I am, is just keep moving towards it no matter what, no matter how difficult it seems or how scary it seems. Just keep moving towards it, focus on it, reject the darkness, no matter how tempting it seems to just fall into its grips. Or I'm going to lay in bed and doom scroll on Twitter. Just keep moving forward. Keep focusing on creating something greater than that which exists now, and just keep going that direction. I've been doing it my whole life, and I can honestly say, yeah, it's better than it's ever been. 2022 has been the best year of my life. 2014 was terrible. Lost a brother to suicide. Then it was several years of just pure darkness. I really got back into meditation. I mean, really put my mind back into it in like 2019. and really went back to what I used to do, and that's pushing forward towards the belief that life is going to get better. 2020, although it was a terrible year for most people on Earth, was the best year of my life. It was the year that my podcast actually started to make money. 2021 was the best year in my life, even better than the prior year, because I moved out of my parents' house, moved into my own apartment. It was fucking awesome. 2022 has been the best year of my life. I've lost the most weight. I've saved the most money. The podcast has grown the most, and my meditations have reached like an all-time high. I firmly believe that 2023 will be the best year of my life until, of course, I hit 2024. You could say, Tommy, that's retarded. I'd rather believe that. It's like what Elon Musk said. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. Because why get out of bed?
Exactly.
Yeah, push towards that.
Well, I
level
mean,
of world.
it's just that it's the value of consistency. I mean, in terms of, and it's not just some tried little remark that it's the value of consistency, but it's the devotion to a principle, and it's the devotion to a belief. And there's just as much in terms of faith. There's just as much honor and integrity and dignity in that, in terms of committed to something, creating something great in the world, and to help others see the value of the experiences that you're going through, but also to be able to value their own experiences and understand that there's a purpose for their own experiences. And for that, the consistency of daily action. There's a book called Slight Edge that talks about just the consistent thing, doing things that in the moment have zero significance. If you do it or you don't do it, you don't see any movement of a needle, but over time, that's what separates you from others, is this consistency of action. And so I think there's a real value to that. It's almost like the monk's existence in the modern world, right? I mean, it's a devotion to a thought, the devotion to a set of principled activities that take care of the mind, heart, body, and spirit. And to be able to dedicate one's life to that, consistently, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's really what a lot of what the Stoics strive for. Stoics, who are warriors, who are leaders, who are rulers, they weren't just like professors in flannel sweaters and talking about dusty old principles. These guys, the Stoics were guys out there in the battlefields and riding in their tents at night. It's that's those guys. Those are the guys who lived, and those are the guys that, if you're going to pay attention to anything, those are a good set of authors to start with, anyway.
As with our last episode, my brain is thoroughly cooked by the end of it. So
this has been good, brother.
Fuck yeah, man. I was gonna say, so let's wrap this one up. I'd love to have you on again, man.
Amen.
Closing thoughts?
Well, I just the first time we got together, I really felt like, man, it was just a fantastic experience, just to get a glimpse into Tommy Carrigan's mind and insightful wit and just the ability to really have an enjoyable, far-reaching. I think we covered just about every subject we could have everything. At the time that we and so it's been another pleasure. It's been too long, and I know we've been trying to get together, but I know you had some obviously the challenge there with the concussion and everything, and so I'm glad you're feeling better. You look like you're every bit of your game is back, and it's always a delight to be able to share some time with you, brother.
Thank you so much, man. We will definitely do another. It won't be as long. It's been like 6 months. We'll definitely do one much sooner, and I hopefully will not be concussed again. And yeah, as always, we touched on truly everything, from Ukraine to the infinite realm of possibility, and are we all God just doing drugs? That's special. That I like talking to someone just as crazy as me, because it allows me to be like, you know what, I might be insane, but Mike will be my roommate in the insane asylum, and I appreciate that.
Exactly. Be right there with you, brother.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, Mike, as always, I love you, my man. We'll do
Love
this
you.
next time, and I'm so excited for the next one. I'll
All
put
right,
all your
brother.
send me whatever you want in the description, and any links to anything, I'll put it in there. And where can people find you?
Michael Ford TX on Twitter is probably the easiest way. We also are our organization, prayforfreedom.org. That's PRA, the number 4 freedom.org. Our little section of Texas. We're still fighting the good fight here for against some of the tyranny we've been experiencing the last few years, but really trying to hopefully turn the tables and start to point minds and hearts and spirits in the right direction, and see if we can accomplish that goal.
Beautiful. Well, if you could, please text me those links, and I'll just copy and paste them into the description, and links to your Twitter into the website. And yeah, aside from that, thank you so much for coming on. You are episode 853. You were 200th episode of this year.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
I just realized that. Thank you so much for coming on, man. As always,
okay.
Much love, everybody.
Right, take care, brother.
Till next time, Godspeed. God bless America. Thank you so much.